Guys, it's New Year's Day, January 1 of 2019, and for my entire life, since I was 8 years old, I've done the best I can to ride a motorcycle on the 1st of January. I can't swear to it that I didn't miss a year along the way. There were a couple years there in college where I missed the whole year, not just January 1st. Lord forgive me. But I try to start every year riding a motorcycle on the 1st of January. And I remember when my brother and I were real little kids, we were at Glendale Elementary School in Glen Burnie, Maryland, on the 1st of January, New Year's Day. This would have been circa, he had his KX80, I was still on the DS80, so this would have been circa 1983 maybe. I might have been 11 years old or 10 years old. And we were riding our dirt bikes illegally in the back of the school field, and the cops showed up and almost knocked my brother off his dirt bike with the squad car. But everybody got out uninjured. But yeah, that was, make sure you ride in a legal area where you're supposed to be and all of that, because I don't condone bad behavior. And make sure you wear a helmet when you ride. But yeah, guys, it's January 1st, and I love this bike I built. I love this RM250. I really enjoyed riding her this summer. I haven't started her up in about 6 weeks. I put her away just before or just after Thanksgiving, and here it is the first week of January, and I haven't started her up or drove her around at all. So what I'm going to do is fire it up and just ride it around. She made it through the season pretty much unscathed, except for some of the paint rubbed off the pipe, you know, where I had to scrape up on some 4-strokes and whatnot. But so I just pulled her out today to spray some WD down on her and keep all the little hardware fittings from starting to rust. You know, just where we did a good job painting and going over all the hardware. We took some hardware out of a spec bolt kit. We took some hardware and we refurbished it. But I'm just gonna take and spray everything down with a little bit of lube and get her nice and soaking wet, and coat everything. You don't have to worry about getting WD-40 on your fork seals, guys. It's not going to hurt them. They're made to seal rubber. I know WD-40 is not good for rubber, but it's okay on fork seals, I promise. Now, if this was a road race bike, I'd have to be all gurking out and weirded out about getting WD-40 on the rotor and getting WD-40 on the tire. But on a motocross bike, guys, I promise it doesn't matter. As soon as you ride and get a little bit of dirt up on that rotor, that oil will scrape out of there and it won't matter. See where this chain lube lays down on the swing arm? Just keep that wet with WD. Just go over everything. Keep all your hardware lubed. Get it all sprayed down. And then take her for a ride. You know, what happens when you ride it? Well, when you ride it, you get engine oil, or 2-stroke oil. You get 2-stroke oil coating all up inside the cylinder walls and rings and the crank rods and crank bearings. And the transmission gets oil splashing around on the clutch and the trans. And the carburetor gets fuel flowing through it. You know, this gasoline's been sitting in that bowl for a while, and you just want to get that flushed. You do want to leave your fuel turned off, guys, and mix the tank. See how I'm mixing that tank? That little bit of fuel that's down in there that I left parked in the bike will separate. I don't know if you can see down in there. Yeah, there's a fair amount of fuel in there. I left over 1.5 gallons in there, a gallon. So that fuel and 2-stroke oil will separate. And you don't want that, because all the oil will separate down to the petcock And it is right now, I promise you. There's all oil sitting there. You got clean gas from here down to here, and then oil sitting there. So you really want to mix this up. You really want to just, hold your front brake and just really shake that and get that fuel mixed up really, really good, because you don't want to start it on a mostly oil mix. It'll foul your plug right away. It won't hurt the engine, but it's not good for the plug. And then the rest of the time you're riding the bike later, you don't have enough oil. It's an incomplete mix. So just make sure, if your bike's been sitting a month, just make sure you really shake the fuel. This was off some bushes I rode through when I parked it. But yeah, just make sure that you really mix that fuel up so you're not burning oil the first time you start it. So I'm going to put this camera down, make sure we still got some air in the tires. Yeah, they're still good and hard. You don't want to let air in your tires get down to where you're going to cause pinch flats and damaging tubes and whatnot. So I want to put this camera down, get a helmet on, and just ride around the block. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to a motocross track. Not riding any wheelies or doing any jumps. Just going to ride her around the block. Don't tell the cops. But I want the brakes to work. I want the fork seals to stroke, the shock to stroke a little bit, the engine to run, clutch to spin, and all that. It's just so good for them. It's just so good for a motorcycle, just like a human body, to get all of its fluids moving through all of its orifices. What happens to you when you sit on a couch for 6 straight months? You get slow, you get lethargic, your blood thickens. It literally thickens. The spinal fluid in your spine thickens. The hormones and the synapse receptors that move fluid and move your involuntary muscle action all slows down. And next thing you know, you get clogs and artery problems and cardiovascular problems and nerve ending problems, all because you did what? Because you sat on a couch and watched TV. So get your butt up off the couch and get some exercise done. Start your dirt bike and ride it around the block and take care of your stuff and take care of what God gave you, and be a good steward of the motorcycles that you have and the body that you've been given. And in springtime, when it's time to go motocross racing, instead of calling a doctor, you can go to the bike track. All right? What do you think? All right, guys. I love you. Sermon's over. Wear your helmets. Take care of your bikes. All right, I talked all that smack. Now let's see if this cold thing will start. That's all you got to do, guys. When you have a bike in storage, every month when you pay your bills, start and ride your bike. Every month when you pay your rent or pay your mortgage, get on your bike and ride it around the block, just like that. If you do that, it'll last you many, 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 many years. There's only 2 ways to take out a Japanese motorcycle: wreck it and park it. And I dare say more have been taken out from parking than wrecking. So get on your bike, ride it around the block with a helmet, and keep those bikes going, guys. God bless you. I love you. This is my continuation of my January 1st tradition, and I hope to be riding a motorcycle on January 1st, every January 1st, for the rest of my life. By His grace, we'll do it together. I love you.